It's that time of year again for fall festivities with friends and family. This week we're giving you some last-minute devilish delights for any Fright Night activity. Happy Halloween.
Welcome to Kill Time Cruise. 7 Halloween snacks.
If you're convinced that candy corn is just multicolored plastic, here's a much tastier alternative that'll leave you wanting more, rather than tossing them where they belong, in the trash. All you'll need is some Rice Krispies, marshmallows, 1 stick of butter, red and yellow food coloring, and some white and dark chocolate. First, you'll need to measure out 6 cups of Rice Krispies into a large bowl. After that, grab yourself a large pot and add 5 tablespoons of butter. Once it's melted, add 6 cups of marshmallows to the butter and keep stirring and folding until your marshmallows are completely covered in buttery goo. Now it's time to add food coloring. For every drop of red dye, add 3 drops of yellow dye and mix well until your potion turns orange. If you're not satisfied with the color yet, just add even more food coloring at a 3-to-1 ratio until you've reached your desired look. After a few minutes of stirring, you should be left with a bright orange marshmallow paste like this. Add your cereal to the pot and fold it until everything is perfectly blended. Now grab yourself a casserole dish and coat it with cooking spray. Then add your mix and spread it out evenly. For even better results, slide your hand into a Ziploc bag and smoothen out your layer so it's nice and flat. Using a knife, cut your Krispies into quarters, then cut across them diagonally both ways to divide them into 8 triangular pieces. Using your hands, you'll want to reshape them to resemble slices of pizza, or hear me out, candy corn shaped Krispies. Now it's time to melt your chocolate. Bring some water to a boil before topping it with a metal bowl. Using this double boiler method will bring you maximum control over the heating process. The steam of your barely simmering water gently melts the chocolate so that it doesn't have a chance to burn. After adding your chocolate of choice 1 chunk at a time, you'll want to keep stirring until your melty goo is ready for you. After covering the bases of your triangles with dark chocolate, repeat the melting process with white chocolate and apply it to just the tips. Feel free to try different dyes with your chocolate to make your cursed corn Krispies even more colorful. Either way, you'll be left with a pleasant twist to a Halloween classic. No matter how old you are, Rice Krispie treats never get old, especially when they can be transformed into fun, crispy pumpkin treats. For this treat, we're going to use the same directions as before, only this time instead of adding your marshmallow mix into a baking dish, spray a little extra grease on your palms and get your fingers involved. Roll each handful into balls about the size of a baseball. Then smush them down a bit to squish your squash. Repeat this process until you have your desired quantity, then grab your pretzel sticks. Break each one in half to form 2 stems. Place the broken end of the pretzel into the top of each crispy ball to make little pumpkin stems, and reshape the pumpkins as needed. So far so good, but you're out of your gourd unless you add some colorful leaves and tendrils. If you don't have any green fondant lying around, airhead candy will work great too. Beginning on one side of the airhead, rip off a chunk and mold it into a lobed leaf with a clean butter knife. Score the center with the dull end of the knife to form your axis. Place it next to your pretzel stem and then take another piece of candy, roll and shape into a thin rope, then twist in the spirals to form a tendril and place on the other side of the pretzel stem. Repeat this process with each pumpkin treat, then document your masterpiece for Insta, because you gotta take pictures for social media or it didn't happen, right? If you're in the mood for something both crackly and cruel, these witches' fingers are easy to make and a Halloween treat nearly everyone will eat. Head back to your double boiler and melt some white chocolate down with enough green food coloring that it looks like the melting Wicked Witch herself. Grab a pretzel rod and dip into the melted chocolate. Then use your spatula to carefully paint chocolatey goodness all over each rod. Now place the fingers onto some wax paper to cool. And in about 10 minutes, you can trim off the excess chocolate drippings and prepare to give these things a manicure. To keep things festive, we're going to use pumpkin seeds, which already look like they have cuticles, but you can use sliced almonds as well. Now dip the bottom of each seed or fingernail into frosting, which will help secure them in place. And we're almost done. Using a toothpick, carve little creases to make these knuckles pop and bring a taste of realism to your presentation. Just give each finger a couple lines for each knuckle, then brush away any excess shavings. Once their cosmetic treatment is complete, these witches' fingers are ready to eat. They can be enjoyed right away, or you can bag them up as treats for your next potluck party.
Tasty.
If you are headed to a fall potluck and don't want to bake anything yourself, try these single-serve pumpkin pies that'll be sure to get gobbled up. First, get yourself a store-bought pumpkin pie. We got ours from Costco. Some biscuit cutters and cinnamon spices for garnishment. Using a 2-inch biscuit cutter, punch out some pie holes. For best results, start near the edge and cut out as many as you'd like, making sure to give the cutter a little twist near the top, just to ensure that it comes out cleanly without taking some of the pie with it. Once you've filled your plate full of mini pies, go ahead and top each one with some canned whipped cream. This step should be saved until right before serving to prevent the fluffy cream from melting into blobs. The last step is to top them off with a dusting of cinnamon. This simple pastry trick will leave your guests wondering where you got the idea. Just send them our way, because there's more where that came from. Remember, these things should be served or chilled immediately, so have your pitchforks ready to chisel or clear some room in the frizzle.
If you're looking for a last-minute treat, consider winging together these no-bake bat bites that'll leave you wanting to sink your fangs into more. In order to get started, you'll need some Oreos, mini peanut butter cups, some chocolate frosting, and some candy eyeballs to add a taste of realism. Twist each Oreo to separate one wafer from the other, doing your best not to break them. Typically, one wafer will have more cream than the other, though that's okay because we're gonna use a butter knife and scrape them all clean anyway. Well, except one wafer. We'll use the last one as a cream storage center that'll come in handy later. Now, flip the wafers over and use a knife to carefully cut them into halves. Most of them should cut cleanly, but if you break a few of them, don't worry. There should be plenty more where that came from. Once all your wafers are cut in half, clean up any jagged edges so you're left with smooth wings. Now dab a little frosting on the bottom corners of the wings. This will act as a paste that'll help adhere your wings to the peanut butter cups. Using that same concept but with leftover Oreo cream, glue your rock-hard candy eyeballs in place for that final touch. Nothing says trick or treat like cracking your teeth. Speaking of teeth, our next snack is a cookie sandwich that'll leave you and your guests full of smiles. These could easily be made with any cookie and any frosting, but we went with what we had in our pantry. All you'll need is a handful of peanut butter cookies, some Nutella, and a bowl of mini marshmallows. Start by cutting your cookies in half with a knife, or for whatever reason, a pie cutter. Now flip each cookie upside down and cover the bottoms with a thick layer of Nutella. Red frosting would be a great alternative here as well. The important part is that you have fun and get creative with it. After your cookies are prepped, carefully add 4 to 5 mini marshmallows along the edge of each cookie half. Then top it off with the other half of the cookie to form a cookie sandwich that resembles Steve Harvey's dentures.
You think I got a set of dentures sitting up in my head?
This black lemonade is a perfect creepy cocktail to quench your thirst after trying a bunch of these Halloween snacks. Start with your favorite lemonade and a sprinkle of activated charcoal. We thought some spooky dollar store goblets were a nice touch too. This charcoal is made from coconuts and is linked to a bunch of health benefits, as long as you drink it in moderation. Fill the bottom of your pitcher with a healthy dose of ice chunks before measuring out your charcoal. A few taps of powder is really all you need, but it goes without saying that the more you add, the darker your sugary potion will be. Now it's time to pour the lemonade over the powdered ice, and then stir it with a whisk or spoon until it's all blended together. And before serving our lemonade, we decided to decorate each cup with a few bloodshot ping pong eyeballs that we snagged from the dollar store along with our charcoal. After pouring your glasses, garnish each cup with a fancy lemon wheel. Our new concoction is perfect for Halloween, but may even help you with an upset stomach in the morning. Activated charcoal not only helps with digestion, it can also treat hangovers and even whiten your teeth. Another popular use involves the removal of toxins from the body and its organs, so it can protect you on the throne from Littlefinger's strangler potion. Nice try, Lady Tyrell.
That's it for today. Feel free to customize those snacks for any occasion and let us know how hard you failed in the comments section below.
Happy Halloween.
See ya!